My name is Nancy Fingerhood, and I was a Peace Corps volunteer from 1999 to 2001 in Bulgaria. And the name of my story is Maika Zdravka, Mother Zdravka. I lived in a town called Troyan. It was a very long town, and it was located in the Stara Planina, the old mountains, the Balkan mountain range, and we had a very long river that ran along the town. And I lived on one side, and it took about a good 25-30 minutes walk to get to the downtown area. And if I was lazy, then I would take the bus. And one time I was downtown, and I went to the bus stop to wait for the bus. And I was wondering what time it was, and there was a woman sitting next to me at the bus stop. She was about 60, 65 years old. And I asked her in Bulgarian what time it was, and she could tell I had an accent. She asked where I was from, and I said the United States, and that I was here with the Peace Corps, Corpus Namira. And she was really excited because she had a son who was an Olympic wrestler, and he was in the Olympics in Canada in the 80s, and he defected to Canada. He actually jumped out the window of his hotel because at the time he didn't want to come back to Bulgaria. And while she missed him very much, she was also very proud of him. And we, struck up a conversation, and she wanted to get to know me. And that's just how it is with Bulgarians. They're very inquisitive, and they want to get to know people. And so we exchanged phone numbers, and I went to her house about twice a month, and we would have dinner. And she was a great cook, and she had a farm and a vegetable garden, and it was great because I'm not a great cook, and so I'd have these wonderful homemade meals. And she spoke a lot about her son and how proud of him she was, and she would always show these photos of him and newspaper article clippings, and she had a big map of Canada on her wall, and she would show me all the places that he had been to. And whenever I would go there, I'd always have to bring my rechnik, my dictionary, with me, because I still didn't know the language that well, and I was still learning. And for me, it was very important to speak to the people in their own native language. I feel that if you really want to get to know a culture and a people, you need to talk to them in their own language. And then they're just more willing to open up to you as well. And one day, it was about a year into my Peace Corps service, and I was still taking I was still getting tutored in Bulgarian because I just felt it was so important to be able to speak to the people. And so I was about to leave, and then I was like, oh, I forgot my dictionary, and I was going to go back and get it. And then I realized I didn't need the dictionary anymore. I was proficient enough in Bulgarian that I could have in-depth conversations with her and her friends when they'd come to dinner, and we could talk about politics or anything. And it was great. And I was proud of myself because I didn't need that dictionary anymore. And I felt a lot closer to her because then I could just have that, one-on-one conversation. And so that was a really great moment for me when I realized that. So another year into it, and it was getting close to the close of service, and I told her I was leaving soon, and she asked me if when I returned to the United States, if I would contact her son, if I would call her son in Canada, and I happily promised to do that. And when I got back to the States, I called him, and we spoke for a while, and I told him how wonderful his mother is and how generous and kind and how much she loves him and misses him. And he was really touched by that. And he was very happy to hear from me. And I kept in touch with him for about a year after that. And one day I got a phone call from her, from Zdravka. She was in Canada. And she finally had saved enough money to go visit him. And it was a really just emotional telephone call because there she was with her son, and she was just so happy. And I was so happy for her. And I just felt like now is this moment we kind of all came together and in a sense, all be together. And so that is my story of Maika Zdravka.